Well, class, we're going to take a moment here. We're going to, in this lab, and we're going to basically take control of the crate, how it opens and closes. Um, so we again, one of the big things is that we set up basically the animations. This is something that we showed you in the last lab that I basically created these animations out of the timeline that I created in 3ds Max. Now for this lab, we're going to be all in Unity for our purposes. Um, I have given you, there's one thing different from the previous lecture that is now here. It's this script called create control. And I've given you, it's called createcontrol.cs. It's been given to you, and it's also been given to you. So if you go back to Canvas, you'll find that this script is here. We're going to go over it pretty simply. For our purposes, we need to just basically put create control, and I've already actually put create control here. But basically, once you'll drag the file to import in here, and then you'll drag it onto the game object into this space right here. Pretty straightforward. It has one public variable on act. This is what we're going to name our trigger when we get there. And then we're going to go over, I'm just going over quickly what's happening with the script. Okay. Now, this is why this is not a programming course. This is why the script has been given to you. Basically, we're using the input system. Hooray. Here's that public string. We need a reference to the controller, which we are getting on start. That's pretty much what it is. So we can get reference to that component and do what we want to do, which is what we're going to do down here. We have basically a Boolean that's basically that indicates whether the base bar has been pressed or not. This is our internal user input. Basically, on update, I'm calling a get input function. And it's basically getting the keyboard device, make sure it's not null, and then asking if the keyboard was pressed. And I'm assigning this information to that Boolean. This is basically part of pool your information. Do your input pooling, and then do what you want. And this is gonna important later on, like when you are like setting up with like a gamepad and whatnot. But basically, when the space bar is pressed, this Boolean is going to be set to true. If that's true, then I'm going to the controller. I'm going to set a trigger in it. So think of I'm setting a Boolean that gets set and then immediately turns off. I can do controller. There is set bone. I can set bone local rotation. Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that before. But I can set the Boolean. I can set a float. I can set an integer, and I can also set a trigger. And it looks like I can do all sorts of crazy stuff going on here. Huh, interesting. There's a lot more here than I realized. But basically, again, set bool, set integer, set a float, and then set a trigger. Those are the 4 that you're going to be doing here. So I don't need this line of code because, again, this is all I need right now. So I'm going to just basically send on act. I'm going to just copy it just for the sake of it. On act when I press the spacebar. And that's pretty much the script is doing. Don't worry much about anything. If scripting's not your thing, that's why I gave you the script. Okay. So let's go to parameters, and we're going to go, and there is the list here is empty. Press this plus button. It's going to ask you as a float, integer, bool, trigger. We're going to say set trigger. I'm going to paste in on act because that's what I want. And then huzzah. I now have a trigger called on act, and this will be a transition piece. We'll talk about transitions in a moment. All right. Let's talk about, this is a state machine. So basically it's going to start here and then transition to this state right here. Now I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to make a bit of a diamond here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And there is like an exit, and there's any state. We're not going to worry about those right now. But what's going to end up happening is that we are going to create 4 states. It's going to be like a diamond. This is not going to be chest opening. This is going to be chest. Sorry, I want to rename it. Chest close. This is the actual chest opening. This is going to be chest closing. And for opening, I do want to keep a positive value right here. Chest close, I'm going to just put this back to 1 because, and then this is going to be chest open. I'll keep that as 1 because I don't need, because the animation is not going to matter. Opening is going to use this chest opening. Chest closing is going to use chest opening, but at a negative value. Chest close is going to use the chest closed value animation. And the chest open is going to use the chest open animation. So we now need to got our states. We now need to connect them together. And we're going to make a transition here, make a transition down here, make a transition up here, and make a transition up here. So chest close, basically, we're going to click on the transition. Actually, I'm going to start with the transition here. I'm going to open this up, and there's going to be conditions. And we're going to just press, and it says on act. And because the trigger doesn't need to be true, false, it's just when it happens. The next one is to be this transition here from closing, so back to closed. Sorry, no, it's open, sorry, to closing. This is going to be, open this up. The condition here is going to be on act. So when I get to opening, it's basically it's going to be an automatic transition. So this is going to be, it does not have an exit time. And this is not going to have an exit time because it's just going to happen right away. But these will. So we can go, and I will go up and look at it, and I will trigger it here. I'll trigger it again. You can see that it's performing the animations correctly. Now, if you see the lid flipping around a bit, this is a case of this transition where you need to make sure that this is actually doing it correctly. So there's like only one instance of this down here. So this is sometimes you may need to go into the settings and play with this a little bit. So I'm not getting that, so that's nice. Again, I'm not getting that up here. So I'm only getting one instance of that animation down here. You will pull this back, these buys up here to get that into the right range because it's trying to transition between the two animations. So I'm going to click into, so now because I have this set up, I'm going to click into this scene here while it's running. I'm going to press, and I can hit the space bar, and same as if I had clicked that button right here. So here we go. There's my space bar again. But you hear it's only going to act once. The others, because I moved into this state, it's the space bar is not going to. It's going to send on act, but there's nothing that on chest openings that it can act. Like there's no reaction, there's no transition based on that. So it's going to ignore the trigger being played. And that's pretty much what we need to do to get things up and going with rigging here. Getting the rigging here done to get this up and running. And I can now close this. Stop. Yeah, pretty much is show me this. Show me this. Show me the condition for on act. This is just screenshots. If you want to make a video, that's perfectly fine. That'll be extra credit if you want to do that because I haven't gone over that. Make sure I save my scene. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the base, and I'm doing low-hanging fruit, the very basics of animation. Obviously, when you get into more projects, bigger projects, there'll be a lot more animations. There'll be a lot more bones. There'll be a lot more things to deal with. This can get very complicated pretty quickly. All right. Again, if you got any problems, give me a message. All right. Good luck, everyone.